The best system, and it's not a completed system, and that's why I said ideally you put the rocks and do it right. But again, it's an issue of time, an issue of cost in our case. To me, I see digging that maybe once or twice a year as a better, easier alternative than, but if we were to do the right thing. Gutters, they were really, remember 900 gallons, 400 gallons on one side? That's a lot of water. The drench itself would not alleviate all that. So installing gutters, and some people push that further with a 1,000-gallon tank or a pump so you can pump back the water. It's not a bad idea, but it's too expensive. I mean, 2 gutters in a tank can cost $1,200, $1,500. So I don't know if any of you have that kind of money to do that. And by collecting water, like any case, when it doesn't rain, you don't have the water. So in our case, I don't see this as necessary, the tank that is. So gutters, we install gutters. This is somebody else's future, I'll show you ours. They really work well, but my gosh, they're expensive. $125 a site, but they work well. And there's some issues with snow. This picture was taken Friday, when we had less than ½ an inch of rain, of snow. And it slides off, and then I think this tells you the picture, right? And there's no way to counter that. So imagine with the snow coming up in a couple of days, 2, 3 inches, what's going to happen? Much like it did last year, they're going to fall off, the wind's going to pick them up, they'll find them half a mile down the road. Maybe you can, and if you think, well, why don't you remove them in winter? Well, is that where you get the most water in springtime? So there's another alternative that I'll be working on the third high tunnel, and try to follow me here. A 4-inch PVC pipe, cut in half. And you, much like a gutter, you install it underneath your roller. So what happens, the water shedding really goes there. You don't have that issue. Even though the snow falls on it, it's okay. And you really collect the entire water, and having it at a certain level, or not level rather, it drains well. I don't know how well it works. Somebody told me it works really well. Probably not that expensive.
Go with a solid gutter cover. It'll work well. Put that right on top of your gutter.
You mean this?
Yep, it'll fix that.
It will slide over?
Yep. And it'll keep all the leaves out the grass and the trash.
Yeah.
It's called a Menards. I think they have them. You really got to hunt for it, but it's a solid. It's no holes in it at all. But the suspension on the water will take it down into the gutter. But it'll just shed that right off of there. I've had it on my house for probably 15 years now. Never had it in the gutter.
Yeah, but on your house, does the snow shed like it does on it?
Well, it'll still.
I mean, has anybody seen an inch or 2 inches of snow sliding from that when it falls down? It's like an avalanche.
Yeah.
So yeah, it may work, but I just don't like gutters. So I will definitely try that option. And so this is how it looks. Again, it's just less than an inch of snow. Yes, sir.
You got to construct your track there?
Yeah.
Is that how you got it now?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you get the gutter? Get a gutter at work or?
Well, I need to speed up. I'm 10 minutes behind. Frost protection. It's a very cost-effective way to salvage your berries. It adds 3 to 4 degrees protection, and then you add that to the 3 to 4 degrees for the second layer, so you can harvest berries until December. And we, by experience, this is not hypothetical, we did withstand temperature all the way down to 22 degrees ambient temperature outside, and our berry was still great inside. And because of your trellis system, you use that. Now you have different weights on your roll cover. This is a medium weight, but the heavy weight, £1.5 pounds, I think, it's pretty expensive. You know, that costs $150, $175. But if you harvest 2 to 3 flats of berries, that will allow you to do, because of cover, I've actually covered the cost right away.
So did you cut the berries down there, or they just?
Yeah, these have been pruned.
Okay, I just wondered.
Yes. So this is how it looks, and preferably, this is not probably the best way to go about it. Just put it row by row, so it covers everything down here, and, so. Okay, bottom line, somebody asked me. Our second high tunnel, as it is, we'll go down to the bottom line here. If you, the base structure of that catalog I showed you, $6,000. When you have the end wall, the second layer, what else is there? Something else.
2 foot side.
I'm sorry?
Your sides are a foot taller.
Yes, oh yes, there you go. And then drip line, fabric, the whole 9 yards here, okay? It's almost $9,000, which is $3 per square foot. That's pretty high. That's on high end. Those that are getting funding from the NCRS and RCS, they're paying $157 per square foot. So you're going to have to cough up some money to make it that way. This is a wild card. Remember I told you? I mean, you could add as much as $10 an hour, 140 hours, or $1,400, working $10 an hour, I don't know. But this is how much time that it took us. Again, it took me 175 hours the first one to do it by myself. So if you have help, free help, it really makes a big difference. But if you have to pay somebody, you could add another $1,000, $3,000. So that's not cheap. Questions? Was it good?
Can you put that other one back up for a sec while you're asking for questions? Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, how much, maybe I could add, I think people here selling high tunnels, but how much would it cost to use it on a bus with it, just have someone come do it for you?
I don't know, 4 guys, it takes.
I can answer that.
Oh, there you go.
Ours is 21 by 96, and we got a full grant from NCRS, and it was $5,000 for the base structure. And we had the guys from, well, we had CVS do it, and if anybody needs their phone number, I have it in my phone. And we paid the guy's brother and his crew build it in 2 days, and it cost $1,000 bucks, and we were really happy to have them
How
do
many
it for
guys
us.
did this?
I think they had 3 guys.
Short workshops are now ending.
Yeah.
The next short workshop
Yeah, it
will
only
be
took
starting
2
in
days,
10
and they
minutes.
could have done it in
Long
1
workshop
day,
will continue until
but
11:30.
weather prevented them from doing it because they did it in December, so there wasn't enough daylight for them to do it all in 1 day.
So there you go.
Okay. How do you get funding to do that?
You check your local NRCS. Sunwater. Look at equipment. Okay, Ann, you want to jump in quickly? I stole 10 minutes of your time. So it's not cheap, but if you bear with me, I'll show you the advantage, okay? So Ann's going to be talking about the actual aspect of growing, harvesting.
I'm going to try to make it quick. We still have lots of good information about plant health management. I'm going to quickly go over plant varieties. It's not really fair to just tell you about growing in a high tunnel without giving you some idea of what the differences are between growing in a high tunnel versus growing in a field. And we'll talk about that in regards to some of these things. Plant varieties, harvesting, what it takes to harvest, how many hours, with including labor, kind of how do you pay people, how does that all work? Thinning and pruning, how to maintain the plants through the cycle with kind of a sample organic fertilization program, which, like you stated before, is really dependent on your soil sample. And then quality and pricing of the berries in the marketplace. Okay, how many of you know that there are 2 different types of raspberries? Raise your hand. Okay, summer bearing and ever bearing. They're handled very, very differently. The top ones are, they call them summer bearing, they produce their fruit on floricanes, which are the greenery that grows up the year before. So if you maintain them the way we maintain our everberries, by cutting them all the way down, you will not have any berries that year. So you really have to know what you are planting. We hear so many times people will come up to us and say, well, I got these berries somewhere, and I don't really know what I have, and you're just like, really? Because it's so important. All of them are so different as far as taste, quality of berries, what they're susceptible to, and also, when you harvest them, how long you can harvest them. It's just, you really need to research the variety that you're going to use. We stay away from the silver berry because simply in Ohio, even in the field, in this high tunnel there, it would be really such a pain in the neck to maintain. Keeping up that cane from the prior year so you have berries and then trying to trim out, you can imagine it's just almost impossible in a high tunnel. The everbearing, you can leave them up. We've tried it. It's not a good idea, even in a high tunnel, to leave them up. The quality of the berries is just not there. And it's difficult to maintain the old with the new that are coming up. So we cut ours all the way down. And when we started in the field, we started with Autumn Britain, which was our early variety, and Caroline, which was our mid variety, and Heritage, which was our late variety. And just to kind of give you an idea, if you are going to plant in the field, you would want to find one that ripens around the 1st of July, and because like the Autumn Britain does that, and then you can actually pick all the way through frost with the Autumn Britain. You do not need to plant 3 varieties for an early, mid, and late to extend your season in the field. It just, we found that it was ridiculous because, well, Caroline are known for their taste, but they're really bushy, and so bugs get in there like Japanese beetles, and they're really difficult to maintain when you're growing organically. And then the Heritage never got started, and you know, your plant would be this tall, and you get about this much fruit, and then the hard frost would hit, and then it was a waste of time to grow the Heritage. We found that. Even though people recommend it because it's a really well-known, you know, old type that's trusted. This is a chart of the actual growing season for them, but it's in Massachusetts, so everything would need to be moved over about a month. So you can see here, Autumn Britain, if you move it over a month, we typically had berries going really well. It's actually more than a month in early July with the Autumn Britain in the field, and then we would have them all the way till it froze. Like I would be picking in November in the field, you know, and they would do really well as field berries. Now, for our high tunnels, we chose Joan Jay. They're an early growing variety. If you even put those in the field and you move them up a month, you're talking about the same time as Autumn Britain, like it shows on the chart. And then, so in the high tunnel situation, they get early start. We have them starting at the end of June, and then of course we can be picking through the month of December if we use the covers like he suggested. Dan uses. Himbo Top is another variety that's very similar to Joan Jay, and it's more resistant to root rot. And because of it coming on about 3 weeks later, we found it very useful as an additional type of berry to grow. And I'll explain that to you in a little bit. Okay, this is the green, or the blue is from that chart where that's the growing season in the Northeast. The green is our typical field production. You can see that it's extended, you know, on either side by a couple of weeks because of where we are. You can also see that in the center we primarily got the largest majority of our harvesting was in late August, early September, and then we would be doing some pruning, and we would have an additional crop come on in October. In the high tunnel, you look at that. I mean, you're extending it. It's just like a no-brainer as far as the amount of berries you actually get. You have we wouldn't really consider this exactly a second crop, but because there's not the dip in there as much as there is when you see it here, you have a real time when there's nothing happening in the high tunnel, and you'll see that in a few minutes, the gap that creates. I'm trying to hurry, so I probably am sounding really choppy about what I'm saying, but do you have questions at all at this point?